this is my review of Sonic X. Okay, so in this episode, Sonic and Knuckles come to blows, and it's not for the reason you think. So it starts off with Knuckles kind of sulking to himself by himself in an abandoned alley. He's kind of depressed that he can't guard the Master Emerald because that's kind of his whole deal. And also he's kind of just bent out of shape because Sonic kind of caused him to go to this new world, and now he's away from the Master Emerald and unable to protect it. At which point he's approached by Eggman, who tricks Knuckles into thinking that Sonic sent them to the Earth on purpose, and that Sonic planned to trap them all there after attaining all 7 Chaos Emeralds, and that all Eggman wanted to do was live in peace. Knuckles, taking Eggman at his word because he's stupid, decides to help Eggman get the Chaos Emeralds back from Sonic. Case in point, the next morning, the group is actually commenting about where the Chaos Emeralds come from and what their purpose is. But eventually we're properly introduced to Chris's maid Ella, who comes in after announcing her presence by knocking on the door of the attic. And Tails, unable to find a place to hide, comes up with a brilliant idea to play as a stuffed animal. So from then on, it's just a bit in this episode that the Sonic characters will pretend to be stuffed animals, at least for a little bit. But yeah, Tails plays as a stuffed animal, which enables Chris to sneak him out of the room. And after she remarks how cute the stuffed animal is, and decides to take him out into the yard. And which point we're also properly introduced to Chris's butler, Mr. Tanaka, who takes Chuck up to his room to nap. So yeah, we don't see Chuck for the rest of this episode. He was there for a little bit, but he was forced to nap against his will, I guess. So now we don't actually see what happens to him. But as that's happening, Amy actually comes to Chris and Tails and tells them that they discovered another Chaos Emerald in Silver Valley, and decides this would be the perfect opportunity to go on a group picnic while also searching for the Chaos Emerald. They invite Sonic to come, and he initially refuses, but then he gets a message a few minutes later from Balkun, Dr. Eggman's messenger robot, and gets a challenge from Knuckles, who tells him to meet him at Silver Valley, so he winds up going there anyway. At which point Chris, Tails, and Amy, having gotten through the trolley system with Tails and Amy pretending to be stuffed animals, much to Chris's chagrin, they eventually arrive at Silver Valley, where it's revealed that it's actually Dr. Eggman waiting for them, who captures them in an E-Series robot named Pumpty, and the robot then proceeds to catch them in the giant glass jar that it has for a stomach. At which point Dr. Eggman reveals that there wasn't actually a Chaos Emerald at Silver Valley. He just wanted to get Sonic out of the way, and he used Knuckles to do it. So Sonic eventually arrives to challenge Knuckles, and they get into a bit of a scuffle, but eventually, due to the antics of Chris, Amy, and Tails, who are trying to figure out a way out of Pumpty, and eventually they land on Amy just smashing the internal systems because, well, it's Amy. She's kind of impatient, but she smashes the internal systems of the robot, which causes it to explode, which does help them get out by creating a big hole in the side of the robot, which enables them to poke their head out and try to ask for help to get out. But anyway, long story short, Sonic sees the explosion, realizes something is up, and goes over to where the robot is to discover Eggman is over there and helps take down the robot. But then Eggman, who's kind of a little upset, shows that nope, not even my final form, transforms Pumpty into a different type of robot, with its arms now being used as legs, and then it flies to the other side of the lake, pointing out that he knows Sonic's weakness is water, and that he'll have to go on the other side of the lake to get them, which Eggman believes he can't do. But then Sonic just kind of runs around the edge of the lake. So Eggman, he ain't very smart. And Knuckles, finally at last realizing that he's been tricked, helps take down Pumpty and then sends Eggman flying with a punch. At which point Eggman is sent flying. Knuckles decides to part ways with the group, but on much friendlier terms, as he won't admit it, but he is sorry for all the trouble he caused and for blaming Sonic for what happened when he now knows it was an accident. So, yeah, Knuckles hasn't officially joined the group yet, but he leaves on much friendlier terms. So he's now at the very least he's sort of part of the group. He's not entirely part of the group. He still doesn't want to work with them, but at the same time he realizes that they're doing their best to actually help them get back to their world. So he decides that maybe they aren't so bad after all and leaves. But he still kind of can't stand Sonic, he decides not to stick around because he knows Sonic hangs around there as well. But yeah, this episode just kind of is one for one and point from one of the games. I forget which one, but it's one of the ones where Eggman manages to trick Knuckles into taking care of Sonic for him, and then Knuckles realizes he's been tricked. It's another recurring plot point. I remember it being appearing again in Sonic Adventure, but other than that, I really don't remember much about this scene. I don't remember the details, but it is one for one a scene from one of the games. I know that much. I remember this fight was from one of the games. I forget which one though. But anyway, if you guys have seen this episode of Sonic X and enjoyed my review of it, then what did you guys think? Let's get a discussion going in the comment section down below, or over on my Discord server, link in the description. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Also be sure to follow me on Facebook and on Twitter in the description below. And also check out my Patreon in the description below as well. It's only a couple bucks a month. It really helps me out, and you guys get access to a bunch of cool perks that are my way of saying thanks, so be sure to check those out in the description below as well. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, I will see you guys in the next video. Peace!